I will be brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Missouri Western DB. Let's welcome Kobe Cummings. How's it going, bro?
It's going great, man. Thank you for having me on the show.
No problem, bro. Anytime, bro. You know what's interesting, man, is tell me about yourself, man. The name Kobe, man, it has to be one of the great names.
Yes. It's a great name. Actually, my family kind of came up with two different names, Kobe and Quentin. And then ultimately, they left it up to my grandma, and she decided Kobe. So that's what they stuck with, and I think it's fit me well pretty so far. So
yeah, when I think of Kobe, I think of the Black Mamba.
Yes, yep, absolutely.
Yeah, but when did Kobe started playing football? That's the question I'm all wondering about, man.
So it was at an actually very young age. I actually played up a year to begin with. My cousin got me into football, and he actually played in Platte City. I was born in Kansas City and kind of grew up in Kansas City. So it was a little bit up north where I played my ball at, and really he got me into it. So I started when I was probably about 4 years old, I would say. And then whenever they moved up to tackle football, they wouldn't let me move up with them no longer. So I had to finally move to my grade, and that's when I finally met all the Platte City boys that were in my grade, and we started that bond.
Oh, that's good, man. So you started playing safety, or was it cornerback, or which positions you started in your beginning playing days?
So actually in my beginning playing days, like really young, I was an offensive lineman. We had a weight little chart thing whenever we were in youth league, so I wasn't able to run the ball, and it wasn't all the way up until third grade that I was actually able to run the ball. And it was funny because I was always an agile kid, you know, pretty quick for how much weight I was kind of carrying and stuff. But I was just a dense kid. I wasn't ever really like fat or anything, just dense, big boned, as they call it. And yeah, so whenever I started, I was actually an offensive lineman. And then third grade, I decided to lose a little bit of weight. And that's when I started my journey playing running back and linebacker. So that's where I kind of started that, and that led me all the way up into high school.
Oh, that's good, man. At least you got to play some little bit different positions. I mean, it's kind of rare. You played some offensive line and you played running back. Was there like any other player that you modeled your game after?
I think at that age, it was just kind of everybody that, you know, you see on NFL, you want to emulate, and mostly like the top guys. I mean, you had AP back then, LaDainian Tomlinson, kind of those guys that you watch from day in, week to week. And so at a young age for running back, that was kind of the guys that I was looking at. And then obviously Ray Lewis was a huge influence, and just his passion for the game, I loved it. And so kind of following him through the linebacker days, that's one guy that I really looked up to. So.
Oh, Ray Lewis was like a motivational speaker. The man let the play do the talking, man. But he was one of those guys that, whether you liked him or not, he was a leader.
Yes, that man can make you run through a wall.
I mean, LaDainian Tomlinson, one of those great talents for the Chargers. I mean, you can go on with AP, one of the greats from the Vikings, but played for the University of Oklahoma. But
absolutely,
there was another player before your time I modeled my game after, and he happened to play in Kansas City by the name of Tony Gonzalez, man. That guy was one of my favorite tight ends of all time.
He's definitely well known around here, yeah. I actually used to have a Tony Gonzalez jersey too, but I never played tight end, so I didn't get that chance.
Nah, but he was one of the greats, man. If you wanted to go with the guys that I modeled the game, it was either him Ray Lewis here and there because I like doing the talking a little bit. But
Uh,
what led you to go? Like, was there like any offers before you even decided to go to Missouri Western?
I had a couple offers. It was kind of interesting because there for a little bit. Well, actually, I played 3 sports growing up my entire life throughout high school. It was football, basketball, and baseball. So those 3 sports, and once I started one season, I didn't really look forward to the next one. I was always fully into that season, whatever season that was. And so it kind of took a change for things whenever I was a senior. I kind of started focusing more on football and baseball and figured those were 2 things that I would actually be able to produce at the college level and, become the athlete that I wanted to be. And so I started looking at kind of a couple schools that would offer football and then a couple schools that would offer just for baseball. But I was really passionate about doing both sports. And so, really, the only offers that I got for both sports were at the D2 level, and so that's ultimately what led me to going D2.
Oh, so you did 2 sports. So you did baseball. So what position did you play in baseball?
I was center field.
Center field. Interesting.
Yes,
So
sir.
you had some background. So maybe that kind of translate a little bit playing that DB position because the
Yep,
center they got to catch.
absolutely. Yes, tracking down the ball definitely relates.
So looking at what got you into going to Missouri Western, it just had to do with the 2 sports. Then I mean, can't
Yeah,
go wrong with it.
exactly. Ultimately, it was 2 sports. The 2 MIAA schools that offered me were Missouri Western and Washburn. And I mean, both great schools, academically great, and sports-wise, athletically great. And it came down to Missouri Western. It was just felt like home. I was closer to home too, and just the love that they were showing. They just had a lot of trust in me from the beginning, and they knew that I would be able to do something special there as long as I just took care of the day-to-day things that you need to do.
And plus, it's not too far from your home, so it's like it
Yeah.
had to be a simple transition. Like
Yes.
like don't need to travel further. You can come see your family. And shout out to your
Absolutely.
pops, man. He followed me on Twitter unexpectedly, but he seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. He's definitely one of my biggest supporters, and he's definitely pushed me to be the man that I am today.
So he was one of the guys that pushed you to play some football, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, yeah, he didn't really care which one I chose. I think he did lean a little bit more towards football, but
I don't blame him.
yeah, he won't tell me that, but I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, it just seems like it. But do you have a football nickname?
Not really. When I was younger, they used to call me Tank because I'm a big hitter. I'm a big hitting safety. So that's kind of what I was known for. And then later into my playing days, I developed into a little bit more of a technique safety. Still bringing hits and laying the wood, but I got better with my technique and played the true safety position where you can play a deep half. You can play a single coverage and things like that. So.
Okay, like Tank. I guess you playing safety that you got to watch for the tank, man. It's just pick your decision. You're gonna pay the price. I guess you're one of those.
Exactly. Definitely don't come across the middle on a post. I'll make you pay.
So, like describe your game. Like, what kind of style do you play on the DB position?
In the DB position, really, I would say I play a smooth game. I try to keep level-headed. I never go into the game too hyped or too low. I believe that there's going to be highs and lows throughout the game, and the team that can stay the most level-headed usually comes out on top because they make the least amount of mistakes. But I would say a lot of my game that I model after is kind of Tyrann Mathieu. And I was lucky that he played for the Kansas City Chiefs for so long, and their training camp was actually up in St. Joe. So during summer workouts and stuff, I was actually able to go over there and watch him during practice and everything. And so being able to watch him from the time that I got there into college and then all the way up till this past year whenever he got traded and everything. But it was nice to be able to see him. And then Justin Reed coming into, he's another top tier safety in the league, and being able to see him and his transition, the IQ, ways that he sets himself up to make plays, just being able to develop and, notice those things, it takes me a long way in my game because I'm able to tweak my game in those ways.
That's good to know, man. So you model your games after those guys. You played mostly safety, so you had a lot of the versatility. You had the hard hitting ability. And I checked out some of your highlights, but here's an early highlight from what Grandizer just threw out there. Like, I guess you had an 80-yard pick six against Fort Hays. Can you describe that play? How that happened?
Yeah, so actually we they were running some fast tempo offenses, kind of getting, I think it was about to go into half, something like that. But they were kind of going up tempo, and we actually had got called into the wrong defense. And so we kind of had to improvise, and I ended up being a single high safety. And then we had a great corner, Sam Webb. He ended up guarding the inside guy, and he made a great play on the ball, tipped it, and I just happened to be fast enough to react, snagged it with one hand, and just took off down the sideline.
I mean, it had to be one of those plays. I guess those tip plays can come into a lucky play because if you tip the ball, one of your teammates is either going to get the ball or another player will either catch it from the other team.
Absolutely.
It's one of those 50s. But here's an interesting question: what team are you hoping to get drafted by? You can give me whatever answer you want, or you can be specific how you feel, man.
If I had a specific team I would love to get drafted to, I would have to say the Kansas City Chiefs, just because that's hometown,
Hometown.
born, you know what I'm saying? We struggled early, but I love what they're doing in the organization, and the guys that they're bringing in, they're building a great culture there, and I just feel like guys, rookies that get a chance to go into a type of culture like that and get exposed to it early just sets them up for a great career. They know the work that needs to be done. They've seen it front hand. And so if I had a team to go to, it'd be them. But honestly, I would be blessed to go to any team that would give me a chance.
I like your answer. Realistically, man, it wouldn't be too far for you. It'd just be obvious. I mean, come on, go to Kansas City, play with the likes of Patrick Mahomes. You learn from the defense, bro. That is a dream come true. I mean, but whoever takes a chance on you, man, they're getting a guy with a blue chip on his shoulder. So
yes, sir.
One or the other, man, you're getting paid. It don't matter. It don't matter where you go.
That's exactly how it is.
Like, okay, let me explain. Okay, so why should any other team draft you?
I think a team should draft me because I'm a high IQ guy. I'm hungry to learn. I'm not afraid to go in and ask veterans questions, ask coaches questions, learn better techniques. I feel like there's always ways to better your game in any aspect that there is. I'm hungry. I'm a D2 guy. We don't get exposed a lot. I know that I have the abilities, and all I'm looking for is that opportunity. So if any team got me, they would get a guy that's going to do anything to put the team in the best position in whatever role that is.
Oh, man, that's even a good answer, man. Like, you just have something to prove. I mean, you feel like, you have to at least feel like whoever takes a chance, you feel like they believe in you.
Absolutely. And that's all I need. That's all I'm looking for.
Okay, so here's another question. So have you met with other teams during the draft or during the combine or what is it, like the Senior Bowl or anything like that?
So I actually didn't get invited to any bowl games. Didn't get invited to any bowl games, and I do have a pro day actually Friday, March 24th, and it's at Mizzou. So that'll be my first pro day. I have talked to a couple teams during season, and a couple teams have gotten measurements of me and stuff. So I know those teams are interested, and they've been keeping an eye on me throughout the seasons and going into this pro day. And then I also have a local pro day with Chiefs April 6th. So I got 2 pro days lined up right now.
So 2 other teams, then you got the Chiefs that you met with. Is there like any other Pacific teams that you met with?
The Ravens and actually the 49ers.
Ooh, 49ers. I'm going to mark that down, man. So for Steph 49K, shout out to her for marking down the event stuff. So I'm going to let her know right away that you've actually met with the Niners. But I'm assuming because you can play all the safety spots. And
yes,
you're one of John Lynch's radars. I'm thinking John Lynch is looking at you and say, I like this kid. Did you have any interactions with him or nothing like that?
No, I have not had any interactions with any like high administration, just more scouts that are like regional scouts that they have. They come to practices, and then there's a couple times that like I would get pulled throughout the day, and we would have to go in, and it would be like about 4 to 6 of us that would go and actually get measurements taken of us, wingspan, wing size, all that different stuff.
Okay, but at least you met with 3 other teams, so it doesn't matter who you meet with as long as you get an opportunity to get a chance to play for another team. I mean, yeah, you're going to go to your local pro day and go meet with the Chiefs, so that's got to be something a dream come true. And then you meet with 2 other teams. The Ravens, they got a really good track record with defense. The Niners, they're building some culture over there, so it makes a lot of sense to get somebody that comes from a small school that they see as a blue chip on the shoulder that could prove something. Yeah. No, I can't hear you. You're mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was like echoing through my computer at first, and so I thought if I put it on mute, it would stop it, and then I'd still be able to talk on yours. But
yeah, I mean, you're getting looked by 3 other teams, but I see why they would look at you. Baltimore Ravens, they like to look at some guys like you with an underdog mentality. The Niners, they just like to build off of talent and develop. So it wouldn't be a bad situation if you learn from the likes of Gibson and watch Hufanga, and then maybe the following year you probably take a spot into the lineup, bro. That could be a great situation, or just play on your home team and live that dream.
Absolutely. I would definitely take any opportunity that either one of those would present themselves.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, here's a good question by Carcast. What was your favorite play in your college career?
Ooh, favorite play in my college career. I had a lot of favorite plays. I would say probably that the Fort Hays 80-yard pick six was definitely up there. Against Missouri Southern in my junior year, that was 2021. I had 3 interceptions in that game, and I had like a total of, I think it was like 140 or 30 something interception return yards. So that was pretty cool. As a freshman, I got thrown into week 3 against an NFL tight end that went to UCM. He got a chance in the NFL for a little bit. I'm not too sure if he's still there or not. But just getting that experience early, it wasn't pretty. I'm going to tell you that right now. It wasn't pretty going up against him. But that was early in my career, my freshman year, just getting that experience. I think it helped shape me into the player that I am today. And it helped shape kind of the work ethic and the commitment that I saw that I needed to make.
Oh, absolutely, man. But I guess looking at your top moments is they look at that pick six and then your 3 interceptions against Northwestern State, man. Like, you must have been at a good timing, like the right place at the right time.
Yes, sir. It was something like that. I mean, we do a lot of film watching during the week too, so that helps a lot when it comes down to playing those type of games. And yeah, so.
So how does Kobe prepare for the games, man?
So mostly the way I prepare is starting early. Monday, I'll kind of go through and just watch the previous games that they've had, just kind of get the flow for the offense that we're about to play, the intensity that they bring on special teams. I feel like special teams is a big part of the game. And if you ask, any NFL team, they'll tell you the same thing. The third part of the game is one of the most important, if not the most important, when it comes down to winning games. So I definitely watch special teams, watch those guys. And then Tuesday through Thursday is really breaking it down with the coaches. You'll break it down in the mornings. We used to do 6 a.m. Morning meetings. Literally, it was Tuesday through Thursday, and then Friday we would even meet whenever we got to where we were traveling, or if we were staying, we would meet that night, and then everybody would go to sleep, and then we'd wake up and play Saturday. So just a lot of film watching, nutrition-wise. You want to make sure you're putting the right stuff in your body come the beginning of the week, because, if you eat something Wednesday, it could come up Friday and you're not feeling too good. So making sure you're hydrated, just doing all those little things, those are the things that's going to set you up, and that's what's going to make a difference when it comes down to being a good player and then being a great player.
Absolutely, man. I like that answer. Just doing your film work, doing the homework on what you expect from your opponents, do a little extra work into it, find the tendency of their weakness, find what you can capitalize on.
Yep.
And it seems to me, it seems interesting that you're already playing up to the high level, man. Despite the competition, they don't want to throw your direction, man. They don't want to pay the price.
No, no, not at all. Whether it comes with a hit or an interception, one way or another, they're going to end up paying. So,
Man, that's not going to look good, man, for anybody who comes into the league. Watch out for this rookie, man. This kid coming out of Missouri Western, man. He ain't playing around. For those teams who don't scout this kid, man, y'all gonna regret this.
They are. But you know what? I'm a humble kid, and I appreciate any opportunity that does come my way. And even if the opportunity doesn't end up coming my way, I'm still gonna fight until I get there. So.
Absolutely. So, what did you guys do what was the coverage in Missouri Western that you played?
So we started off early in my college career with a lot of man-to-man. We would drop back in some quarters, ran a little bit of cover 3 here and there, but a lot of it was just man-to-man, cover 1, quarters. That was really about it. We blitzed every once in a while. I never really sent any safety blitzes. When we got our chance, we took advantage of it. So we sent a lot of linebacker blitzes, and so that would end up making us into a man-to-man responsibility. So that was a lot of what it was.
Oh man, so you played a lot of man-to-man, had a little coverage here and there, but what was your favorite coverage and why?
I would say my favorite coverage is probably quarters, and the reason I say that is just because it's, especially if you have another safety that you've worked with for a while, you guys build off each other, and so disguising things is it comes a lot easier, and you can disguise a man drop and then end up dropping underneath a post that they think the corner just is getting beat on. There's different things that you look at into that, and so for me it would probably be quarters, but yeah, we were basically man to man a lot of the time.
Yeah, that would work well if you were with the Niners because they do something like that. I think it would fit pretty well whoever gets you. But what do you do outside of football that keeps you off the mindset a little bit?
I love golfing. That's a big hobby that I picked up. Hunting, fishing, really anything outdoors. I started picking up reading, so I've been trying to read more, which is it's always good for the brain, and it's always good to learn more stuff other than just football stuff. So just trying to be a better man in that aspect. And that's really it. Other than that, I mean, between recovery, working out, and then whenever season comes, film study and all that takes up pretty much the rest of my time.
Well, that's good, man. At least you keep it focused. But if you didn't play football, what job would you like to have?
If I didn't play football, I'll probably be an entrepreneur, start my own business. So I actually got my business management degree at Missouri Western with a concentration in entrepreneurship. And then because of COVID, I had my extra year of eligibility and was able to get my master's in business administration. And so I graduated with my master's, and I would love to start a mobile power washing company. So it's interesting, but there's a lot of money that could be made with it. And I think with some connections that I have, I think it's something that I could start up fast. And then eventually I would like to get into real estate in that game. So
that's a good backup plan to have. I mean, here's the question that he wants to say, Cardcast. What's the hardest type of route to cover in quarters coverage that you had to deal with?
The hardest route to cover, I would say if you got a quarterback and a slot receiver that are really good on the same page, a sail route can be pretty hard because they can kind of drop down depending on what that number one does. He probably takes the corner away, so that corner is kind of driving on him, and they can kind of dump that right over. And in quarters, we're usually sitting between that kind of like 8 to 12 yard range. Kind of depends on the speed of the player and the threat of them. But I would say kind of that sail route, it's pretty hard because you're already starting off inside, so they kind of have a little bit of leverage to the outside. But
I mean, it's a good, honest answer, but there's still a lot more in your game. So what do you think coming into the lead, like as soon as you get to the lead, what do you feel like you need to improve on the most?
For me, what I would need to improve on is guarding those true slot receivers, the real shifty ones. The ones that they're kind of thicker too. The smaller guys, if you get some hands on, you can kind of disrupt their route. But you got guys that are starting to get a lot stronger in the slot, and they're able to move some bodies. So more of those quick twitch type of guys that you're seeing more and more in the league. Just continually to rep within and just being able to break on their ins, their outs, the whip routes, just things of that nature.
Oh, that's good, man. So what should we know about Kobe Cummings, the person?
I would say that I'm a humble person. I'm confident in myself. I'm intelligent. I got a strong work ethic. I'm faithful. And I'm true to myself. I don't try to act like anybody that I'm not. I know my faults. I know my strengths, and I'll stick to them, and I'll keep working on those weaknesses to get better. And so I would just say that I'm an honest person. You're going to get somebody that's going to come in and they're going to work, and they're going to work extra hard at the things that they're weak at, and they're going to keep improving on the things that they're strong at.
Absolutely, man. See, that's what we look at. We look at good characters on the field, but like you said, you have confidence, you're humble in any other way. But for anybody else, man, it's like sometimes you get a lot of these prospects who come from a very small school, they get overlooked. But why do you feel you should get an opportunity?
I feel like I should get an opportunity because I'm a playmaker. If you put me out there on the field, you're going to see my true competitor come out. And I feel like it's far deeper than most people's. And I feel like my drive is there. One thing I always said is I told my grandmother that she was going to be getting a front seat in the front row one day whenever I make it big into the NFL. And she passed away in 2016, but, she's still here with us, and I still want to hold that true. So just that drive, man, my why, my family, the situations that they put me in to succeed, the person that they made me into, the support they give me, just that's why a team should give me a chance, because they're going to get somebody that has a why, somebody that has a drive, somebody that's going to put their best foot forward.
Man, rest in peace to your grandma. I mean, it's going to be a dream come true. But what made you really feel about when you knew you could play football and maybe make it to the NFL?
So I actually sat down with one of my coaches, and he had a realization with me, and he was like, you're a good, like above average football player right now for D2, and the position that you're playing. And this was at the time that I was still playing football and baseball. And he was like, if you could just truly focus and solely put all your effort into football during the spring, summer, fall, throughout the entire year, he told me that he really believed that I could be something special and do something different. And so whenever he said that, and he told me that he was gonna talk to everybody and give me every opportunity that he could, that was kind of the realization. And I wasn't getting the opportunities in baseball, so it kind of played out that way too. And so I feel like God definitely had a plan. He allowed me to live out my dream of playing football and baseball in college. So I got to fulfill that. And then ultimately, he led me to the football route. And I feel like that was the best route for me. And that was the route that he chose. So
that's a good decision. I mean, once you focus on one sport, they'll know from there. I mean, baseball was something, but we'll give maybe about two more final questions here, and then we'll end it on a high note. Here's a good question by Grandizer. If you could hang out with any football player, past or present, for a day, who and why?
If I could hang out with any player, honestly, it would probably be Troy Polamalu. And that might sound weird. It might, because I haven't talked about him or anything or mentioned him at all. We haven't mentioned him. But just the way he played, he was ferocious on the field. Some would call it reckless almost, but he was so smooth with all of his movements. Yeah, I feel like there was never a time where like he was looking off balance or anything, or like he ever made a move that wasn't meant to be made. Like it was just like he was on a whole different level of playing than the other guys that he was going against. And it was just at the age that I was whenever he was playing and at his prime, it was amazing to me that a safety could take over a game like that.
Oh, absolutely. It wouldn't be too far off if you were to go to the Niners. You can learn from somebody like Tolano Hufanga, who actually has connections to Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
That might be your ticket. That
It
might
could
be.
be. Hey, it could
Yeah.
be. You know, something
Okay.
could be in the air over there.
Yeah. So one more question here, and then we can end it here. Favorite pregame meal?
Oh, my favorite pregame meal. I keep it light. Protein. I try to eat like about 2 hours before the game. So something protein, probably like some chicken breast, little bit of rice. You don't want to carb load too much before the game. That's more like the days before. So I don't do too much carb loading before the games. But yeah, I would say really chicken, a little bit of pasta, and then just some veggies to go with it, whether it's green beans, broccoli, something like that. But you typically try to keep it pretty light.
Oh, that's a good answer right there. For everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in. Kobe Cummings, man, whoever drafts you or takes a chance on this guy, he's going to have a blue chip on his shoulder. He's going to prove why you made the best decision. And I'm definitely going to root for this guy, man. I don't care what team he goes to, as long as he gets an opportunity. I want to see this guy succeed, man. Can we get an amen?
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, bro. But thank you for your time. And keep me updated, bro. I'm definitely gonna root for you, whether you play for the Chiefs, whether you play for whoever, or this team. It don't matter to me, bro. I just want to see you succeed, man.
Hey, if I come out there, I'll come visit you. How about that?
How about that, man? That's great, man. Hey, but for everybody else, thanks for tuning in. And as always, I'll keep you guys posted. And good luck, Kobe Cummings.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
You too, man.